Hey guys! Today we're diving into the topic of broody hens, how to encourage your hens to become broody, how to break them from broodiness if needed, how to care for them while they're broody, and what you can expect during that time. Let's kick things off with how to actually get your hens to go broody. One of the most effective methods? Introducing chicks to your farm. For some reason, whenever we bring baby chicks home, it doesn't matter what season it is, our hens suddenly get the urge to be moms. They see babies and they want their own. Another trick is to let eggs build up in your nesting boxes. If there aren't enough eggs in the box, your hens probably won't go broody. Some hens will sit on just one egg, but most prefer a decent clutch, say, 12 eggs, that's been sitting for a few days. Once they see that pile, one of them is likely to claim it. This method has worked great for me. At this point, some of my hens have been going broody for years, so I don't really need to do much to trigger it anymore. Now, a lot of people say hatchery chicks lose the broody instinct, but in my experience, that's not true. I've got plenty of hatchery hens that still go broody with no issue. The instinct is still there, they're born with it. Sure, you might have a hen or two that never goes broody, but most will eventually if you give them the right setup. Something interesting I've noticed, hens that successfully hatch chicks often pass that trait on. Their daughters tend to go broody too, usually in their first year. Now, if you've got a hen that's gone broody but you don't want her to be, or maybe you don't have a rooster, so the eggs won't hatch, here's what I suggest. Collect all the eggs from the nesting box every day and gently encourage her to leave the coop. If you can't keep her away from that nest, you may just have to wait it out. Some hens are so determined, they'll sit on nothing but air. Seriously, they're that stubborn. But eventually, they'll give up and snap out of it, so what should you expect when your hen goes broody? A few key things. First off, she'll only poop once a day. That's it. She'll leave the nest briefly to eat, drink, and drop one giant poop, think dog-sized. It's pretty wild. Now, once in a while, a hen might just back up to the edge of the nest and poop there instead. That's less common, but it happens. Young hens, though, may actually poop in the nesting box. And if they do, I usually take that as a sign they're not quite ready to hatch a clutch. They'll figure it out with time. One big no-no, don't keep food or water in the nesting box. Don't even place it nearby. You want that hen to leave the box once a day, it's important for her health. She needs the exercise, and she also needs to reconnect with the rest of the flock. If she hides away too long, the other chickens might forget about her, and when she re-emerges with her chicks, she could get attacked. It's rare, but it does happen. Re-establishing pecking order can lead to some nasty fights, especially if she's been out of sight too long. That's also why I don't recommend separating your broody hen from the rest of the flock entirely. When she steps out for food and water, don't panic and try to put her back on the nest right away. Even if she's wandering around for a bit, it's totally fine. She can be off those eggs for up to an hour, and they'll still be perfectly okay. But if you keep putting her back on the nest, she won't eat enough, she won't forage, and she'll start to get weak. It's really not good for her health. Now here's something you're probably going to notice, your hens will absolutely fight over nesting boxes. If your broody hen is sitting in the favorite nesting box, expect drama. Other hens will try to squeeze in there and lay eggs right on top of her. What I like to do is mark the eggs with a Sharpie. Just draw a full circle around each one so I know which eggs were part of the original clutch. Then I check daily and remove any new ones laid by the other hens. In fact, right now 2 of my hens are literally fighting over a nesting box. Charlotte is the one who's broody, and another hen is trying to steal her clutch. This is super common and honestly kind of annoying. I prefer to keep the original broody hen on her own clutch, it's only fair. She's done all the work. So, if another hen tries to move in, I usually remove her. But if she's super persistent, I'll give her her own clutch to sit on. When hens want to go broody, they can be incredibly determined. If you're looking for a breed that really loves to go broody, I can't recommend Silkies enough. If you've got Silkies, you honestly won't need an incubator, they're always ready to hatch a clutch. They're smaller, somewhere between bantams and standard-sized chickens, so they can't cover as many eggs. But I've had mine sit on as many as 11 or 12 at a time. One of my favorites was this partridge Silkie you see here with her babies. She was a breeder's hen for years and never allowed to hatch a clutch. That breeder said she was his meanest hen. Every time he tried to collect her eggs, she'd go after him. So he wanted to get rid of her. I took her in, and the first thing I did was let her hatch a clutch. You guys, she was so happy. And once, when I had around 50 chicks hatch in an incubator, I gave them all to her. She adopted every single one and raised them like they were her own. Her name was Withstreet, and honestly, I miss her so much. She was one of my absolute favorite hens. If you're after a hen that can hatch big clutches, giant Cochins are fantastic. In my experience, they usually start going broody around their second year, and when they do, wow. They can sit on up to 20 eggs at a time, no problem. You've probably seen my 2 giant Cochins in older videos, each one tucked over a mountain of eggs. They are absolute pros. Another amazing breed? Black sex lynx, also known as black beauties. They usually go broody once a year and make wonderful moms. Also, I'm a big fan of Americanas. In the clip on the left, you'll see one of my black beauties, and on the right is an Americana. Both breeds make excellent moms. Americanas don't go broody as often, but when they do, they're fierce protectors. They'll defend their chicks and take great care of them. I've had nothing but good experiences with both breeds when it comes to mothering skills. One more tip, if you've got broody hens, make sure there's a dust bath nearby. An old tire filled with sand works perfectly. When hens are brooding for a long stretch, they can get kind of unhealthy. Lice and mites can become a problem, so a dust bath helps them stay clean and itch-free. It's a simple step that can prevent a lot of issues later on. Now, how many eggs should you let a hen sit on? It really depends on her size. As a rule of thumb, I like to go with 12 eggs for most breeds. But like I said earlier, larger hens like Cochins can handle 20. Another clue that a hen's about to go broody? If you see a bunch of feathers in the nesting box, she's probably building her nest. Leave some eggs in there, and chances are, she'll settle down and start sitting. On our farm, we do incubate a lot of our eggs, but if one of our hens wants to go broody, we always let her. We've never had an issue with it. The only time we discourage broodiness is when we're running low on eggs, which honestly doesn't happen very often. So, they go broody whenever they feel like it, and honestly, it's one of the most magical things to watch. We've even had hens adopt chicks we hatched in the incubator, as long as the timing lines up. By the way, we made a video showing how to introduce new chicks to a broody mama who already has babies. I'll link that below if you're interested. It's actually super easy. And while most hens go broody in spring or summer, don't be surprised if it happens in the colder months too. The clip you're watching now was taken in the middle of winter. This hen decided to hatch a clutch in late fall, and she went for it. So really, it can happen any time of year, as long as the conditions feel right to her. Once the chicks hatch, it's totally up to you whether you separate them or leave them with the rest of the flock. We like to keep them together, it just feels more natural, and honestly, we've never had issues. Our roosters are super gentle with the babies. They'll actually show the chicks how to eat and drink, which is just the sweetest thing ever. You might see some of the hens pecking the chicks a little, don't worry unless it's constant or aggressive. Once those chicks hit 4 to 6 weeks, Mama hen will start weaning them and may even go broody all over again. Alright friends, that's it for this video. I really hope it helped, and I hope you give broody hens a try. It's such a magical part of raising chickens and easily one of our favorite things about farm life. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We try to post a new video every day. See you tomorrow.